Hey, what's going on? I'm Big LT, DJ Let's Player, Big LT Radio, and welcome to surprisingly a new episode of Funko Stories. Actually, I was expecting to get this week, but I didn't expect to get it today. So I just got this in the mail. I got it right here with my Funkos. So, and then there's another one coming on the way too, but you guys won't see that till next week, at least. So, without further ado, episode 4. Not an anime girl this time. Or, well, you know what I mean by that. But actually, something I did grow up with since 6th grade, sort of. Spyro and Sparks. Yeah. So, my history with Spyro. This is more about Spyro than Sparks. No offense to the Dragonfly or anything. But this was supposed to be more towards Spyro. So, this one is going to be a long one, so sit down, grab a bowl of popcorn, whatever you have. This is going to be a doozy. So I got introduced to Spyro when I was a little kid. I had a friend that I knew when I was a little kid, back in elementary school. He had a PlayStation 1 and the game of the original Spyro the Dragon. I saw him I watched him play it a few times, and I think I got to play it a couple of times too. It was kind of my introduction to the Spyro games. But the thing about that Spyro game was, I think that was the first released versions of Spyro, because I vaguely remember something about one of the portals being surrounded by a water. Yeah, I know they have that in the games nowadays with the Sunny Flight, but this was kind of towards where Stone Hill was, actually. I remember more where this is kind of where the spot where Stone Hill is, where it was just like a circular thing there. You had little stepping stones or whatever, and you had to get to the portal that way. And I think it was actually a flight as well, but I vaguely remember it being right where Stone Hill was. I vaguely remember that. I don't say it was, but I vaguely remember it. Unless it was some kind of ad, maybe it was something in a magazine. I don't know. All I remember was that there was a pond, with a portal in the middle on another piece of land, and you had to get to it either by gliding to it or stepping on the stones. But I vaguely remember it being the flight level, but I'm not 100% sure. That's the best my memories got on me. But I always remember that when I was going through not high school, technically speaking, elementary, because I had the games in high school. But I vaguely remember that growing up in elementary until 6th grade, when I actually got my own PlayStation. It was a different version of the PlayStation than probably most people know. It was the PS1, actually. I know we call it the PlayStation 1, but there was the original PlayStation and then the PlayStation 1. This was PlayStation 1, and it was able to play just the standard PlayStation games on it. So I think it was it's kind of like what we call a Lite, I guess, or something like that. But anyway, to be honest, this thing didn't have a reset button. It had a power button and an open button, to eject not to eject the disc, but basically to take the disc out of the thing. Anyway, so 6th grade, I could be wrong. I vaguely remember this being around either my birthday or Christmas. Not 100% sure which, though. I'm probably going to lean more towards Christmas for this, maybe. But I got my PS1 and the first original Spyro the Dragon at the time. And then I think it took about another year or two, and with the combined total about 4 years since I got that, to get the other two Spyro games. It might have been just 3, but I vaguely remember maybe roughly 4 years when I got all of them. I know I probably had them by 9th grade, and I had 6th grade. It makes sense, 3 years, I don't know. But it could have been late into my 9th grade year, so it could have been maybe, I don't know. I vaguely remember, but I remember this, though. I got Spyro the Dragon first, and then I got Year of the Dragon second, not knowing that Ripto's Rage was actually the second game. So when I played Year of the Dragon, I found out there was characters that were introduced in Ripto's Rage that I didn't know, because when I saw that first cutscene when you start the game, you had Hunter there, and I was looking, I'm like, who was that? When did he become part of the Spyro games? and not realizing, oh, he's from Spyro 2. I'm playing the third game. It took me about maybe I wouldn't say I wouldn't say like 3 months, probably about a good month and a half before I realized, oh, these are characters. This character and a few others came from the second game. Mainly one of the big ones, I was of course being Hunter and Zoe, but one of the big ones that I realized was after beating the sorceress in Year of the Dragon, the first time at least, you meet the professor and Laura. Well, then again, you meet the professor when you do the Ancient Nine lab thing and a few other Ancient Nine missions. I think I could be wrong with that. But no, I remember you do the Ancient Nine lab. Professor's there. You beat the sorceress. You're back. You're back at a cutscene at Ancient Nine's lab with the professor and Alora. And Alora even mentioned wanting Spyro to come back to Avalar. And I was like, "What is this Avalar? And who are you?" That's when I realized, oh, this isn't Spyro 2. This is Ripto's Rage thing here. I'm playing the third game second before I played the second game. So that was kind of my fault. I didn't really know that. Even the Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage game shows the number 2 right behind the logo, the original. So I didn't know about that. Speaking of the original trilogy, I have the games digitally for my PS3. And what I didn't know was that those games are the original versions. And I know I mentioned how my friend, when I was a kid, possibly having an original version with the whole pond and the stone hill, but it was actually the flight level. This one didn't have that for some reason. So I don't know where that came from. But I do know that in the original trilogy for the PS3 that you download digitally, the music, the audio of the music part of of those games, some of them are right, some of them aren't. I was actually surprised, and I found out. I just remember this recently. When you battle the sorceress in the third game, you actually battle her with the Sunrise Spring Home song, and that caught me off guard when I played that. I don't remember if that's true or not. I can look at my Let's Play of that. Yeah, my Let's Play of Spyro 3 was from the digital version of the game on the PS3. That's where it came from. I couldn't play the disc if I tried because my recording device said, copy protected. Okay. But all in all, at least I think that's true. But all in all, yeah, so basically, I think that's the case. Was I learned recently, and I think I vaguely remember this. When you battle the sorceress in the PS3 version of Spyro: Year of the Dragon, you apparently get the Sunrise Spring Home song and not the correct one, and it goes unused. But when they did the greatest hits with the green banner for the original PlayStation, apparently it fixed that, and that's the one I knew from the start. So I knew that from the start. I vaguely don't remember if all three of mine were the greatest hits, so I had the correct one regardless. But I do vaguely remember when I played through the Reignited trilogy that, yeah, that song is right from when I remembered it, and when I played it on the original PlayStation, so I knew that. So I always knew that. Those are the ones. I thought, I don't know, I vaguely also remember, and I know I'm saying that a lot, but I know I somewhat remember on occasion some of the PlayStation versions of the games there being alternate tracks for some of the worlds. I don't remember which ones though. I might have to look that up. But yeah, so I remember that's kind of like my first starting introduction of Spyro, the original Spyro trilogy. Fast forward to my junior high year, I think. I could be wrong. I know it was the year when I got the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance. Or not, it wasn't the exact year, but it took about maybe a year or two to get these. And I got Spyro Enter the Dragonfly for the GameCube. I know a lot of people probably hate on that game because I don't know if it's because it doesn't feel like a Spyro game or something, but granted, when I played through it for the first, there was one other one. I guess I could be wrong about this, but I think it's probably because a lot of people said that we beat Ripto in the second game as well as his minions. How are they coming back? And apparently they came back. They're the villains in the game again, and I was like, But apparently there was Enter the Dragonfly. You collect dragonflies in that game. I should also mention in the first one, if you guys never played these Spyro games, the first game you're mainly collecting, well, not collecting, but you're rescuing dragons. Second game you're collecting orbs and 14 talismans. Although the third homeworld for that game doesn't have you collecting any talismans, so when you get to the end of the level, you're just collecting orbs. And then the third game, it's dragon eggs. But regardless, aside from those, you're always collecting gems. And I know I didn't say this in the first game about the first game, but the first three homeworlds, you're collecting dragon eggs. There's only like 12. After you get to the fourth one, there's no dragon eggs. You only collect 12. Okay. So yeah, I had Enter the Dragonfly, and I actually liked some of the things about Enter the Dragonfly. One of my favorite things about Enter the Dragonfly was the honey slide. The song for it was awesome. I loved the honey slide. It was great. I really did enjoy that. And I think there was another one. There was another weird level. Well, I mean, it wasn't the honey slide wasn't exactly a full level. It was just kind of like a side thing. But this is also kind of a side thing too. It was the Oasis Speedway. I vaguely remember the soundtrack for that was amazing. I actually like it. I know it was in the level with the thieves. Hence Oasis Speedway. I almost said Ocean. That's in Spyro 2. I think it's in that one. I think it's the one in Summer Forest. But anyway, yeah, the Oasis Speedway, I would say it's a callback to Shady Oasis because that also had thieves in it. But I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, Oasis Speedway, I always remember that. I vaguely can remember the audio right now. I'm thinking about it in my head. I can hear that woman doing that, whatever it was. I vaguely can hear it. So there was one of those things. And like I said, I also like the idea of collecting dragonflies. It was like, last game we rescued the dragon eggs, and they hatched into baby dragons. This one we're getting dragonflies because at the time, the baby dragons are getting the dragonflies, and I guess this is kind of similar to how Spyro got his with Sparks. So we're doing the same thing here. It's that time, so the baby dragons are getting their dragonflies. And, they're pretty cool. You actually have a few new breaths. One of my favorites is probably the bubble and the electricity, aside from, like, the standard fire one. I think there's one other. I just don't remember what it's called. But that's kind of the main reason. While I'm in the same generation here, I mentioned Game Boy Advance. I did play Spyro 2 Season of Flame. However, I did not play Spyro Season of Ice. That one I didn't play. Season of Flame I did. And I remember something about while Spyro was off doing the previous adventure in Season of Ice. When he gets back, apparently his flame breath now has become an ice breath. I don't remember what caused him to have that ice breath. It's been forever since I played it. Let me think of it. This is 2021. I probably played it last in like 2005, maybe 2006. I don't remember. It had to have been before 10th grade. And I'm saying that, I don't know if I'm saying before 10th grade. Technically, it would be 2005. So, probably about 16 years since I last played it. Or roughly 16 years of the day of this recording. I don't remember anything about it at all. Except for the idea that Spyro had an ice breath because something happened. Fast forward a little more. I found out about a game for the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Although at the time I owned an Xbox 360, I didn't yet own a PS3 until much later. But apparently there was a game called Spyro Dawn of the Dragon, and that introduced me to Cinder, which I'm going to be honest, Cinder was much needed in the Spyro series, and I think to this day she is much needed because Spyro is partnered alongside with Crash, still is today's too, about the same company. Crash has his sister Coco. Spyro was just Spyro. Yeah, he had Sparks, but I felt like there should be some kind of like female dragon. and we got it with Cinder. And Cinder and Spyro are just a perfect match. Always been. You know, yeah, I heard she was evil at first, but the thing is, with her being a friend and ally to Spyro, it was much needed, similar to Crash being, an ally for Coco. Even though Coco wasn't in the original first game, I think she appeared in the second game, so it worked. It was just there. It worked. Um, but anyway, so I played a little Dawn of the Dragon. Never beaten it though, probably because of specific trouble I've been having. Um, but regardless, I do enjoy it. I enjoy it. Every time I play Dawn of the Dragon, I've always seemed to be playing as Cinder more than Spyro. I don't know why. I mean, I love Spyro the most, but Cinder is kind of like right there. I've always wanted to have someone like Coco, but in the Spyro game, and I got that with Cinder, so that was kind of my reason. And the cool thing about Cinder is she can breathe shadow breath. I think there's like electricity, poison, fear. It's cool. I really like the idea that Cinder is supposed to be like this embodiment of evil for dragons, and with her powers it shows it, but she's using it for the greater good. And I actually like that. I do like that. And supposedly her father is apparently the king of all dragons or something like that. I don't know where this even came from, but with Cinder, it was much needed. I approve of Cinder, and I'm going to be honest right now, with Spyro 4 possibly being in the works right now, if Activision, Beanox, Toys for Bob, whatever, if they have the right, if they can do this, if they do this, it would probably freak out the Spyro fan base the most right now. But I want to see Cinder come back and be an ally to Spyro once again. I don't want to just see her, just her last appearance being something with Skylanders. I want them to keep using her in some way. I do. And I actually was hoping they would do that for the Reignited trilogy. So, but anyway, before I even get to Reignited trilogy, at least if I can, I know I mentioned it a few times, but after I played Dawn of the Dragon, yes, I know it sucks nowadays. A lot of people are hating on it, but for 3 of the games, I did play the Skylander series. Skylanders, Spyro's Adventure, Skylanders Giants, and Swap Force. However, even though I didn't play Trap Team, I do have one figure for the Trap Team. I actually want to show it to you guys quickly. I know this is supposed to be a Spyro thing, but I'm going to quick show this to you guys. This is the only time I ever saw it, and thankfully I was able to buy it when I did. When they did that contest for a new Skylander, or for the names of the Skylanders, they had like 3 particular ones, and one of them I enjoyed seeing the most. I want to share this with you guys just because. But this is still in its original packaging too, so I've never taken it out since I bought it. But I do have this. Still do. And I got this, I think, when I was working at GameStop, since you guys can see the GameStop sticker. But yes, I have this, still do, and I'll never take it out of the package. This is the only thing that I still have that's Skylanders. I do probably still have my Spyro and Cinder ones though, but this is the only other Skylander aside from those 2 that I still have. So, and I wanted her to be in Trap Team. I always said, hey, if they put her in Trap Team, I'll play Trap Team. Well, they did, but the thing is, I sold all my Skylander stuff by then, so I didn't feel like buying it all. So, yeah, so Skylanders, I'm not going to get too much into that one. It was just basically Spyro with other characters. And there were some cool things about that game, but I don't know. Like nowadays I'm not too big and big fanatic about Skylanders. They have a Netflix series if you haven't heard about that before, but yeah, its main character is apparently Spyro and all those other guys, and Cinder's appeared in there too. Crash and Coco appeared in there too. I haven't seen the one with Coco though, but really should. But then there's the Reignited trilogy. I know. How did I go from Skylanders to Reignited trilogy like that? So when Reignited trilogy got announced, I was freaking out. Love everything about it. There was one thing that I know a lot of people weren't too on board with, was the sorceress, and I get it. In the original, the sorceress was more of an aggressive thing. But with the Reignited, it just seemed like they downgraded her a bit. It just didn't work. It really didn't work. But everything else was great. You know, Nasty Nork was great. Ripto was great. Crush and Gulp were great. All the other main characters, great. But for some reason, no. Sorceress was really just bad. Actually, even Bianca at the time when she was supposed to be a bad person, actually was her character was really good. Even like some of the returning characters, and you know, and the really surprising thing is, if you guys didn't know this, Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob's voice Spyro, he originally voiced Spyro in Spyro 2, but in the original, the first game, Tom Kenny did not voice Spyro. I didn't even know that Tom Kenny, who voiced SpongeBob, was a voice of Spyro when you know the whole thing was starting. So I was like, okay, I don't know. I just imagined the character for the voice actor for Spyro was someone else, but here I am, found out. Oh, apparently it's the same person. And the weird thing is, I didn't know this until recently. Play Spyro 2. Go to, what is it called? Hercos? It's the one with the gear grinders. But listen to those electrols. I did not pay attention very well. This is just the original, not the reignited. I don't know about the reignited, but with the original, talk to one of the electrols. I did not catch this all these years until now, until just apparently last night when I'm recording this. The electrols in Hercos sound exactly like SpongeBob. I am not kidding. I did not know this. And after hearing them from the original and listening to it closely, that is definitely SpongeBob voice. And I know now Tom Kenny voiced the electrols. Actually, Tom Kenny actually voiced other characters too, I think. I knew Spyro for a while, but then when I heard the electrols again, apparently from last night, I was like, oh, that sounds like Tom Kenny did those, but it sounds like SpongeBob. So I was like, oh. So yeah, I freaked out hearing about that. So I was like, oh my god. Okay, so what else? Do I have anything else I could probably bring up? Shoot, I had all these stories, and I'm on a roll, and trying to think of something. I know my friends with the Reignited, since they're playing the Reignited trilogy, they're having trouble with treetops, and I'm like, how are you having that much trouble with treetops? Apparently, it's still having trouble with it today. I'm sure a lot of people still do. I'm looking at it, it's like I had no problems. I mean, it's probably because I played the original so many times. I know what to do. It's just okay. So yeah, my friends apparently having trouble with treetops. Even my friend Scotty Boy Rules had trouble with treetops by himself. So when he gave me the controller, I nailed it, no problem. It's like, years of practice. What do you expect? I'm sure there are a lot of those people who are struggling with treetops to this day too are probably saying, well, I've had years of experience. How do you manage to do it? Right timing, I guess. I don't know. I just know how to do it. It's like second nature to me. I know where everything is. I know how to do everything, and it's not a big problem. I mean, I might have struggled for a while at first, but I gave myself a few tries later, and I managed to get it no problem. I don't give up. I keep trying. Unless you're my friend, Scotty Boy Rules, and apparently used a cheat code to give himself 99 lives to try to do it. Then again, he wastes like half of them by the time he gets there, as far as I know. Me, I don't need to cheat that many lives. I can build up my lives and still probably beat the games with probably like maybe 7 lives lost on a good day. I mean, you say, well, I mean, technically speaking, not in one day, but the entire game at once, you know, from start to finish. Probably even through all 3 of them. I mean, like 7 apiece from all 3. But yeah, you know, apparently my friends are having trouble with that. I'll probably okay. I'm gonna mention you guys now about some of my favorite levels in the original trilogy, because I know I mentioned a little bit of it in the Enter the Dragonfly. I can't say that much about Skylanders or Dawn of the Dragon or even Spyro 2 Season of Flame. But the original trilogy and somewhat with the Reignited trilogy, I'm going to mention my favorite levels that I always loved every time I played the game. For the first game, it was Sunny Flight. There was, oh boy, now I'm gonna have trouble remembering some of these levels. Oh, what's that one? What's that one? It's the one with that maze thing. I am going to go nuts figuring this out. I know it is. Oh, Dark Hollow. Dark Hollow. Yes. Okay, so Sunny Flight, Dark Hollow. And this is starting in Artisans. So Sunny Flight, Dark Hollow, and then skip Peacekeepers because I don't find a lot of the Peacekeeper stuff that much amusing. Magic Crafter's Homeworld. Yes, that's my all-time favorite in the whole entire Spyro 1. I love every time I go to Magic Crafters, I love that place. Not only that, but I like Wizard Peak, Blowhard, sexual innuendo, take it however you want. I'm actually just thinking about this from a music perspective. Dreamweaver's Homes, Dark Passage, and I think there's like one more, but I vaguely remember one more Spyro 1 song that I like the most, and I'm trying to figure out what that is. Actually, no, what am I thinking? That is it. I'm sorry. That's all the original Spyro audio that I do like. As far as levels wise goes, Sunny Flight, again. I like Town Square. I like Toasty. Aside from those dogs, you have to flame them twice, and I always find myself flaming them once, jumping up to flame them again to kill them, because I don't have enough reflex to kill them before they can attack me. I guess Stone Hill's okay too. Even I guess pretty much all of Artisans is good. Night Flight from Peacekeepers is probably a good level wise. I also have to say, what's it called? It's not Dry Canyon. That's the other one. What's that other one? No, Stone Hill is in Artisans. What's that one place called? It's whatever it is. It's got the vultures. You know, it's got that weird woman that apparently has a cauldron. If you know what I'm thinking, that's the one I'm thinking. That's the one. But anyway, I'm gonna move on before this gets any worse. Magic Crafters, I actually like a lot of the Magic Crafter stuff. For example, the homeworld itself is great. Okay, I don't like the audio now I think about it, but I do like High Caves. I do like High Caves. Alpine Ridge is okay too. I know those beasts probably would give a lot of kids nightmares, but after getting used to them, I actually enjoy watching them just go ah. It's funny as hell, especially when I'm like on a cliff right next to them and they can't attack and they're just doing it constantly. It's funny as hell. What else do I like? Well, I like Crystal Flight. Crystal Flight's pretty cool. Actually, I'm just gonna say this right now. I like everything from Magic Crafters as far as levels wise. There you go. Beastmaker stuff. I'm not sure what I feel about the homeworld itself, though I do like Treetops. I will admit I do like Treetops. I do like Metalhead, and even though it has gave me troubles a lot in the past, I do like Wild Flight. And then I guess I also like a little bit of Misty Bog. I guess Misty Bog's okay. The Tag Frogs, I really don't like the Tag Frogs when growing up, but nowadays I feel like it's not a big deal. I probably still get hit from them every now and then. Dreamweavers, I like the homeworld for Dreamweavers. I like Dark Passage. I don't like Jock. I don't like Jocks too much. It's not my thing. Icy Flight's okay. I will admit Icy Flight's okay. And I'm having trouble remembering one the other two levels names. But I'll mention this one. It's the one with I do like this one. It's the one with the suits of armor, the Norks with the bombs, the fairies, and those witches. But I think they're different colored from the ones in Magic Crafters. So there's that one. And then with the Nasty World, the home world just doesn't do it for me. I know it's small thing. Uh, I do like the fight with Nasty Nork. I do like Nasty's loot. And then I don't think it's Nork Cove. I think it's something. No, yeah, it's Nork Cove because the other one's like Twilight Harbor or something. But I mean, yeah, I like Nork Cove. Now with Spyro 2, I'll probably have to just do music with the levels going through this, so I don't have to go back and do it all at once. So Spyro 2, I like Glimmer as a level, but I'm not sure about the soundtrack. Colossus as a whole is a yes. Idle Springs, I guess I like the level. I'm not sure if I like the song for it. Hurricanes, love the level. Not sure about the song. I might have liked the song at one point. Ocean Speedway, I like the level. Not sure if I like the song. I think it's called Sunny Beach. The one with the turtles. I actually kind of like this. Not sure. It's kind of a meh. Aquaria Towers. I'm not sure if I feel about it being the sharks though. Don't like. I don't like the sharks. Although I do know how to handle them, I still don't like them. I guess the same thing. It's kind of like this. As far as Crush's Dungeon, I think it's called. Boss fight's okay. Not particularly my favorite. Actually, if I want to talk about my favorite boss level from that game, it's going to be Ripto's Arena. Simple as that. So moving on, Autumn Plains. I will admit, I'm not going to mention anything about the homeworlds. I don't like the song, and the levels just, all three of them, so to speak. Skilo's Badlands, I like the level. And I guess the soundtrack's a little bit okay. Zephyr, not sure if I like the song though, but the level's okay. I do have one little problem with that level, and I think it has to do with either the Cowlix or the Romeo and Juliet thing. Though nowadays I can master it, aside from the Cowlix that are actually at the Romeo and Juliet challenge. That part's just what is it called? Breeze Harbor. I know a lot of people are going to say this. Do you like the trolley? I do like the trolley. I can do that, no problem. Yeah, I mean, maybe when we all first started it, we had struggled. But me playing it over and over again as much as I did, even when the first time I played the Reignited Trilogy, I mastered it right away. Not even had a problem. I don't have a problem with the trolley thing. I don't care. He's like, trouble with the trolley, eh? Well, not for me. But as far as the level, it's pretty cool. Soundtrack, I can't remember it right now, but I guess it's kind of like a meh. I know I mentioned Skilo's Badlands. There's another one, I think it's like Crystal Glacier, I think it's called. Levels kind of, and so is the soundtrack, I guess, for that. Metro Speedway, love the level, love the song. I will say that. Oasis, what is it called? Shady Oasis. I like the song track, and I guess the level is pretty cool too. And then there's Magma Cone. Love the song track. Level's pretty good. I'm gonna say this one because I'm trying to remember the other one. Scorch. Love. I think I'm okay with the soundtrack. Level's pretty good. Now I'm gonna remember that other level. It's the one with the satyrs and the fawn and the Earthshaper and that alchemist thing. I don't mind the satyr song. I think it's kind of cool. I kind of somewhat tap my foot to that. But as far as the soundtrack, and I'm not sure about the soundtrack. Level's okay. What's that speedway called? I know it's a snow one. That one's okay. Soundtrack probably doesn't do it too well for me. So there's that. And just so I could throw Gulp's Overlook in this one, because I might have mentioned the Ripto one as a whole. Gulp's Overlook, boss level's okay. I did struggle with it a lot during the Reignited Trilogy. Found a way to get around it. And soundtrack, it's not my favorite, but it's okay. Winter Tundra, you already know that. Metropolis, my favorite one in the game, as well as the for both soundtrack and level. Canyon Speedway, pretty cool. both audio and, or basically a level and soundtrack. There's the Robotica Farms, or whatever it's called. It's okay. It's kind of like a meh. It's kind of okay. Um, there's that one swamp level. I'm thinking. I think it's a swamp. No, it's Mystic Marsh. Mystic Marsh. Level's okay. Soundtrack, I don't remember it. I mean, I remember it. I just. And then there's that other level. I think there's like one other level. It's the one with the Ancient Zero. I think it's his name. And I struggle with it a lot. But to be honest, kind of a meh for both, I guess. It's okay, but it's not my favorite. And I mentioned Ripto's Arena. It's my favorite, so to speak. And Dragon Shores, I'm just going to throw this out there. Mini games are fun as a level. Soundtrack's just kind of a meh. And I'm just going to say, I'm just going to mention a few things here for Spyro 3 because I'm already like way over this. This is like twice as long as my Miku one I did first. Sunrise Spring Home, as far as I know. Soundtrack for Sunrise Spring Home is awesome. The Mushroom Speedway is awesome for soundtrack. And I think it's the Idle Springs, this is I think it's called, it's awesome for soundtrack. And as far as levels, Sheila's Alp is okay. Oh, I should also mention another one for audio, the one with the chickens, the giant chicken thing. That one's okay too, as well as level 2. And then Sheila's Alp level is okay. The Cloud Spires is okay. Idle Springs is okay. Mushroom Speedway is okay. And then the Crawdad Farm's okay. Buzz's Dungeon, favorite soundtrack of the game. Or not of the game. There's one other one. So it's probably second. Buzz's Dungeon, second soundtrack of the game. Favorite boss, at least one of them. Midday Gardens, probably my favorite level. But not my... What's a good level? Spooky Swamp, love the soundtrack. Level's pretty cool. Bamboo Terrace, probably a good level. Country Speedway, love the level. This is where I'm trying to remember the Sparks level. What was the Sparks level? Was that the Spider one? Or was that the third one? No, it was the Spyro one. It was the Spider one. That level's okay. And then there's that ice level. I guess it's meh. But boss for the Midday Garden, when you go to Evening Lake, it's okay. Not one of my favorites. But anyway, I probably missed one. But I mean, Sergeant Bird's Base, kind of and I know that other one. But actually, I will mention that one. The other one that also had the Sergeant Bird theme playing. I love the skateboard level for that. Everything else is kind of a meh. Oh, and I guess the one with the bone guy, the caveman with the bones, that's my favorite thing about the game. Evening Lake, Fireworks Factory, favorite level of the game, at least one of the other ones. Honey Speedway, my favorite speedway of the game. I think, yeah, Honey Speedway is my favorite speedway of the game. Enchanted Towers, it's okay. Frozen Alps, it's okay. Bentley's Outpost, I think it's called the Bentley's Outpost, it's okay. What's that one? What's the one with the shipyards? Shoot. Yeah, Renowned Spyro fan. Doesn't even remember half the levels in these games. Whatever that one is, I love the soundtrack, and I think I love the level. And I know the soundtrack's name is Sheila's Out, but it's just done a little differently, and it works. And then the bosses, I guess, is okay. The boss is okay as a level, but the soundtrack just doesn't do it for me. Midnight Mountain, that's the main number one right there. Midnight Mountain level soundtrack number one. Don't argue with me with that. That is number one. You know it. Crystal, what is it? That Crystal one. Whatever it's called. It's okay. I think the soundtrack's okay. The level's okay. And then there's that desert one. I forgot the name of that one. It's got that mouse that looks like Lara Croft. I love the soundtrack. The level's pretty cool too. Ancient Nine's Lab. Love Ancient Nine as a character, though the level's kind of, and so is the soundtrack. Dino Mines, hate it. I hate the Dino. I hate that Dino level. Harbor Speedway's okay. And then, Haunted Tomb. Love the soundtrack. Love the level. And Sorcerer's Lair. As long as you're playing the updated version, love the soundtrack, love the boss fight, and then the final level, which I think if I remember, the final level. Actually, I should have mentioned the Sparks level for the Evening Lake. It's okay, and then the Sparks level for Midnight Mountain. It's okay. Actually, I think that one's probably my number one favorite. The Robotic Bug Factory, I think is the one it's called, the Robotic Bug Factory. That was probably my favorite Sparks level of the game. And then the super bonus level. My favorite thing about that is the skateboard thing. Yeah, it gave me trouble, but in the original one, seeing all that treasure just go to Spyro for like a whole minute is just I love that part. And the Spyro versus Sorceress fight, that's pretty good. And finally, the last thing I'm going to bring up before I end the video is for the super bonus level, doing that getting to the power up to take out the sheep saucers to get the treasure from that. That's also pretty cool. And I suppose the thieves too. Try to get down the thieves and get the treasure from them. But I've been talking for a long time. This, like I said, this was going to be way over double than what the Miku one did, and I had a lot to talk about Spyro. This was great. I enjoyed this. But yeah, last time I'm going to look at this or whatever. This was awesome doing this for over 40 minutes right now. And now you guys know how much Spyro means to me, at least the original trilogy. I know I talked about some of the other stuff too, but the original trilogy as a whole, that's all right there. And I met some great friends. One of them being on Xbox, I call him Tox. He's a Spyro fan too. A lot of things about Spyro that I grew up with, and now you know my history with Spyro. It's not as big as Miku's, but Miku hasn't been with me that long. Spyro's been with me since 6th grade, a lot longer. Right when I was 12 years old, right then and there. And everybody probably should play a Spyro game at least once in their life. If you're a gamer, you'll know the kind of struggles and the history that I have with this game. And yeah, it's amazing. But anyway, with that in mind, thank you all for watching episode 4 of Funko Stories. I will have episode 5 for you guys next week because I do have one more being shipped. I think it's in the States. So at least next week you'll expect another Funko story. I probably won't have much to talk about this one, but I'll do my best. With that in mind, guys, thank you all for watching. I've been Big LT, Digital Let's Player of Big LT Radio, and I will see you guys for the next time I do a Funko story. See you guys next time, and have a good day.